Good evening, everybody. This is Ron slash Mr. Suvak coming to you on recording from my dining room for a quick message to our families and our students in that order. First of all, fellow parents of Franklin Regional High School students, uh, on behalf of myself, my family, and all of us that work at the high school, I certainly hope that this video recording finds you and yours doing as well as could possibly be expected. Uh, Thank you to all of you. As always, our community bonds together who have reached out to offer help in a variety of ways. Can't thank you enough for your support of one another and of our school. On a similar note, if any of you or your families find yourselves in a situation where, as a result of these unprecedented times, there's a hardship, financial or otherwise, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I, working with the district, will do our very best to get you what you need and get everybody through, and be the bridge from those that are able to help to those that now need it. So again, I hope you're well. Thanks for all of your support so far through this global pandemic and transition to online learning. And if there's anything anybody needs, please always feel free to reach out to me. As I've said often, I have absolutely no desire to serve as a high school principal during a global pandemic. But since none of us have a choice in the matter, and I'm stuck doing what I'm doing during a global pandemic, there's nowhere else I'd want to do it. This is a fantastic community with fantastic families and great kids. So at this time, I would like to talk to some of those great kids. Uh, Guys, I'm sorry that all of you are dealing with this, and I miss you. On behalf of all of us at the high school, we miss you. I know you've heard that over and over from your teachers as we've gone to virtual learning, but we miss you very much. Personally, a few things I miss. Um, Number one, pointing out obvious dress code violations, specifically Penn State attire. So if any of you are wearing Penn State attire right now, go take it off and come back and listen to the rest of the message. I miss fist bumping you in the hallways. I miss interrupting the conversations that occur in our bathrooms during QRT. I miss so many things about being together and being back in the building. But what I miss most is uh, the end of the day announcements and recognizing your accomplishments and announcing future events that we could all get excited about. So that'll be the end of my message. Tonight, what I want to do is talk to you about 3 responsibilities and ask you to be the great young men and women that you are. And anytime I've ever asked, you guys have always stepped up to the plate. So to our students, I want to talk to you quickly about 3 responsibilities. First of all, your number one responsibility is now and always should be to your health, safety, and welfare, and taking care of your families, being the best sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, whatever's needed. Number one responsibility is always to health, safety, and welfare and to your family. Second responsibility is to yourself and making sure that your education is on pace. This is going to sound like an oversimplification, but do your best. When I was coaching, before many of you were born, I used to tell our players, don't let the same thing beat you twice. You're stuck in a virtual learning environment in the midst of a global pandemic. You didn't have a choice in that. But what you do have a choice in is how you approach the classwork that your teachers are asking you to complete. They will get you to the finish line if you do your part. So irrespective of the grading scale, which I know that you've heard about, my expectation, our expectation for you is that you continue to do your best so that you learn what you need to know so that whether you're a freshman going to be a sophomore or a senior heading off to college, you have the knowledge, skills, and dispositions that you need to move forward so that this thing doesn't hurt you twice, doesn't beat you twice. But you got to do your part in making sure that you're doing your very best on what your teachers are going to ask you to do. I promise you, they're going to ask you to do the right things so that when we come out of this, you'll be ready to go wherever that is. Lastly, as most of you know, tomorrow was supposed to be our prom. That's not happening. However, thanks to the work of Mrs. Musial, Mrs. Trimnell, and our class advisors, we do have another date for the prom, which is June the 18th. So if we're able to do it then, we're going to do it then. Again, thanks to the work of Mrs. Musial and Mrs. Trimnell and our advisors. If we can't do it in June, we have another date in July, which is July the 16th. So if we can't do it in June, we're going to do it in July. We want to make this happen for you guys. But part of making that happen, or increasing the likelihood that it happens, is you taking care of your responsibility, which I'm going to get to at the end. For our seniors, my heart breaks for everybody. As you know, it breaks for you even more. June the 3rd was supposed to be our cruise on the Gateway Clipper. That's not going to happen on schedule. But as a result of the work of Mrs. Stewart and our senior class folks, we have another date secured in June, which is the 24th. If it can't happen in June, they've secured another date in July, which is July the 23rd. We want these things to happen for you guys. All of us at the high school, myself certainly included, because I miss the things I talked about earlier, and others. I know that you are feeling like you're going to miss these things, and we don't want that to happen. Finally, with respect to commencement, it was scheduled for June the 5th. It is highly unlikely that commencement as we know it will happen on June the 5th. But as a result of the work of many people in the district, we have another date secured, which is June the 26th. So if we're able to get back together from a health standpoint by then, we're going to do the ceremony up like it's never been done before on June the 26th. If June doesn't work, we have another date, which is July the 24th. So we are going to make every effort to get you those things that I know you were looking forward to and that you were missing. But what I need from you is to take responsibility for your own actions and make sure that the best chance we have of doing those is that if all of us, yourselves certainly included, follow the recommendations of the health professionals and keep home whenever possible. I know it stinks. I'm a parent of 2 teenagers. I get it, guys. But if we want these things to take place in June, the best thing we can do is stay home in April and May. If we want to increase the chances that they take place in June or July, the best thing we can do is stay home in April and May. I know it stinks. I'm sorry that I have to ask you to do that. But as I said earlier, you've always done everything I've asked you to do. And I want to get back together. Your teachers want to get back together with you. And we want to have these events for you. But we need you to do your part to increase the chances that that happens. Lastly, again, to the members of the class of 2020, your world was turned upside down, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm sorry to have to ask you to do anything, but you are the leaders in the building. So please take the lead on asking all of our students to take care of their responsibilities. First to their family, second to their own education, and then third to each other. You know how little I know about social media. So I'd ask you to get on Twitter or Fritter or Instagram, Shinstagram, whatever in the heck it is, and just encourage kids to stay at home so that all of us can get back to the things we miss, get back together, and so that you as a class of 2020 can have the end of the year celebrations that you so richly deserve. That's all I have tonight. Again, families, students, on behalf of all of us at the high school, and certainly me personally, we miss you. We'll do our very best in these trying circumstances to make it stink as little as possible. And students, I thank you in advance for taking care of your responsibilities to your families, to yourselves, and to our community, so that hopefully all of us can get back to normal soon. That's it. If I misspoke on anything, I apologize. But as I said, I don't read from a script. I hope you all have a great night. And of course, go Panthers.